So I'm gonna dive right in. This is called "Tell Me I'm Prettier When I Smile." Everything I'm reading tonight is from At First and Then. Because I do not desire to be a road pocked with potholes, but these scowls gouge the path ahead like too many pecking crows. And this is entirely a dream. If I can wake from it, I can just find the right phrase, like I am a kiln and I become a burnt orange. The sounds stretch, and yet I am still dreaming. And this stretching does not decide for me. It is a lesson in constraint, like how I want to build rhetorical arguments from children's balloons. I want to watch them soar and disappear and become just another dot of clear sky. Tell me I am like the sky. Lie to me. Tell me I am expansive and clear. I need to hear that joyful clouds reach their hands into my chest because I can feel them inside of me, storming, telling me I am pretty when I smile. I want to be a set of cascading conditions, like a logical proof or the way I am always sneaking away from my fear. Tell me I am prettier when I smile. Tell me, become a cloud and tell me that when I am pretty, it is impossible to be so empty. This whole book is, I like to sort of call it a capsule book. And here I am chatting to you. Exactly what I said I wouldn't do. I come in with no plan whatsoever, and what you get is what you get. I'm always winging it. Um, this is a capsule book. The whole thing was written in about 4 months, during uh, a very early part of my transition. I'm a trans woman, if you hadn't noticed yet. Um, and so everything has a very specific place for me in my life, and sort of these have become historical poems, which they weren't, when this was when this first won the contest, and so forth. um I have a very complicated relationship to this book. This is called Ekphrasis on the Most Beautiful Suicide. Because especially in death, a woman's body is not her own. If she had been paint, then the limousine an improvised canvas, and the gawking crowds guess at some bizarre performance. Instead, it is crossed ankles, arms arcing inward, as if warding against an attempt to steal her secrets. Like me, she wanted to disappear. I have too many of my mother's tendencies. Perhaps she nervously tapped her foot, was no fun at parties, and did not understand that she was not actually broken. How I invent her a fiction from the tangles of such real things. A spectacular line from a magazine. 7 short sentences where she expressed her need to be nothing, and we ignored her wishes. Maybe this is why I am so easily seduced by violence, by how it fills the empty spaces with something I desire that is not quite love. When they tried to move her, she spilled. How a human being can become water, slipping through our hands. The human body contains enough bones to construct a complete skeleton. And it is a lie to say that women have one additional rib, that they were raised from the earth sculpted in a garden like how we hang tomatoes. Remember how seeds are little moments of the possible, like asking what we desire of the things that grow inside of us. Maybe a fireplace filled with the family songs that were forgotten. A line of Rilke about bridges just off the tongue. And I talk about what I might contain. I spin seeds and spit something out. If I were an electrical socket, I might call myself lucent. But there are over 200 bones inside of me, and I cannot feel them unless they are broken. I could build a bridge from what I contain, just off the tongue, a way to cross a dangerous crevasse, to sing songs and sow seeds. I want to raise from the earth, become a question for mathematics, like counting bones inside of a moving body, spinning like a sequin and then coming to rest, complete. I dream that Adam was a liar and just wanted to feel less alone. On the creation of new language from the reading lists of the dead. After a death, when I taste my own mead like unpleasant iron bleeding behind a bad tooth. This is when I become like blankets in winter. It is how loss reveals a new language. And why at night, I wonder why the sound of a faucet running brings panic, or why the sight of an owl in flight makes my heart race with joy. There is small magic in how suddenly my kitchen table feels like a different home. And where the rough edge of that chipped dinner plate becomes a flower bed and then blooms. There are even discarded bits of paper raining like poems, raining like so many useless poems. Because grandmother, you read Ulysses when you were 16, but you will never read my poems. So I can only believe that soil is just one way to cover a grave, and that burial is ever present. In the graveyard, 3 men in yellow reflective vests heap dirt into an open wound. I think I have time for one more. So I'm gonna try to pick a good one. Oh, this is a good one. I can read this one. I like this one. This is very explicitly trans poem. I don't write a lot of these anymore, which is an awesome thing. It's fun. This is a trans poem about swans, which begins in the Boston Garden, where people sit inside giant wooden swans. And I am the swan. This is normal. I watch the families cross the footbridge like balloons left adrift or pigeons darting after scraps of bread. Because this is a long journey. It is something like Orpheus, a vertical transformation. But I could not pretend to cultivate myself like a garden. This body is something I am forced to touch when I suddenly grasp for love in the middle of the night. I want to become a myth that travels under and then above again, but emerges different. To become something beautiful like a swan fleeing from itself forever. This is a trans poem about swans, and I desperately wish for it to be beautiful. But beauty does not escape and become a silent parking lot. In an emergency, it cannot be trusted to shuffle quickly towards the nearest exit. It will never bring me away from where this body started. And so I am the swan, opened. Because this is a trans poem about swans, we must see entrails spilling. Her flesh cut open with surgical precision. This is my body, a temple under renovation, a pristine, bright surgical center, a way to perhaps swim forward after.